This video is for the person who inboxed me a message days ago. I've had some sleepless nights after reading your message, and there's only one person who is aware of the fact that I even received your message, and that is my sister, Naima, aka Maxie. And she's busy with her grandkids. And I've gone over your message for days in my mind. I went to church yesterday and I prayed for you, whoever you are. Not only did you send me a message, but you somehow manipulated Facebook in a way that I don't know who you are. But obviously on my friends list and not an acquaintance. So to whoever you are, I made attempts to find out who you are and delete you. But you know what? I'm going to allow you to stay on my Facebook page so that every time you talk about me behind my back, every time you think of me in a negative way, God's going to bless me in your face every time my page is in front of your eyes. And you must be keeping up with me to send me a message about begging for money on Facebook to help save my husband, Carl L. May's life. Begging is not the word that should be used. So let me educate you about a few things, okay? My husband is dying right now and is in need of a liver transplant from chronic hepatitis C, genotype 1A. He has the worst genotype of chronic hepatitis C on this earth. Educate yourself and go read about chronic hepatitis C and the genotypes. There are over 30 million known Americans right now with chronic hepatitis C. Some don't have liver decomposition. Some don't have renal failure. Some don't have end-stage cirrhosis. My husband was previously treated with interferon, Pegasus, and ribavirin. And he came back undetectable, which at the time, they thought that the virus was gone. Since then, there is an understanding that genotype 1As don't heal from that treatment. New treatments have come about. As a matter of fact, the FDA just approved a treatment in December for Sovaldi, which is a medication that I have been attempting to get for my husband to at least stop the replication of the virus in his liver. He's still going to need a liver transplant. I am not begging on Facebook. I am fundraising. And I am fundraising through the NFT, the National Foundation for Transplants. Okay? They are assisting in managing monies from donations that may come to my husband. Why am I doing this? Because my husband does not have to die from this disease. He can be saved, and many are. You called me a beggar in your post to me, and you referred to someone else that I know as begging and crying and complaining. Someone who lost a child whose name I'm not even going to mention. And she's my hero because she's not only shared her feelings, her pain. I believe that in sharing pain is halved and you gain some relief, your burden's lifted. But she's also given back, which I have hope at some point in time I can do. I'm not begging. God says we have not because we ask not. And I need assistance from those who are willing and able to give. It's called philanthropy. So let me educate you on something else. It's more than, philanthropy is more than just a charitable donation. It's an effort undertaken by an individual or organization such as the NFT, based on an altruistic desire to improve the human welfare of another or others. So when you say I'm begging, I'm asking for help. My husband saved my life, and he spent a fortune doing so over the years. I have no breast, I have no cleavage, and I'm going to do whatever I can do to save his life. But how dare you send me a message bitching and moaning about my asking for assistance to save my husband's life? I can't afford to, but with God's help and others, my husband does have a chance. And he has a great chance, so say the doctors. He spent his entire 401k saving my life. And my husband has helped and given to many, many. And those who may be watching this know whereof I speak. Now, a part of your message said, I looked on your husband's page on the NFT, and I don't see where your family's put in, or I don't see anybody with his last name. I am my husband's family. He has no siblings that he's attached to. His mother has Alzheimer's and doesn't even know that he's alive. And I'm not asking you to feed me, because that's not what it's for. The NFT is just for anything related to his liver transplant. Whatever his medical insurance, his co-pays don't pay, it helps get medication. And right now, based on the amount of funds, and I don't know how you get this information because I can't even see who donated to my husband, except when somebody puts their name up there and it gets related to me through Facebook. And everyone hasn't, because I talked to Samantha Palazzo at the NFT today, and there are people who sent checks in honor of Carl May to the National Transplant for Foundation, and I thank you. This one medication here, Xifaxan, and everything I'm saying to you can be verified. This cost $1,000. And my sister is aware that I battled with Blue Cross and Blue Shield to get that medication from him. My husband has taken 39 pills a day just to maintain his life right now. And it would behoove you, who's criticizing me, to go get yourself a test from the health department for chronic hepatitis C, because there is more chronic hepatitis C in this here United States and in the world right now than there is HIV and AIDS. And you just may have it. And it is an insidious disease which has no symptoms. And it's going to cost a lot to survive. The medication that I have been beginning to fundraise, I haven't even begun to fundraise yet. I'm hitting up emails. We're having bake sales. We're having businesses fundraise for him. That medication that he needs to stop that virus is called Sovaldi. You see what that price tag says? That's for 84 pills for 14 weeks of treatment. My husband is failed interferon. He needs 24 weeks of treatment, not 14. And we're waiting on a blood work from California to see if he can even take that medication. But my begging, that you have so called it, has gotten me thus far assistance from friends, family, whoever's given, to pay for part of his medication to keep him alive, and that he is still here this day because I could not do it by myself. And there are other battles involved in this. I'm fighting Social Security. I'm fighting the Veterans Administration because it's a known fact that most of the vets in the VA are sick and needing livers right now, and they all got chronic hepatitis C while they were in the military. My husband served in both the Army and the Navy, and his country's letting him down. He's been given 1 year, maybe 2, without treatment or a liver transplant to live. He has never asked the VA for a God blessed thing. At one time he was making 6 figures, 5 figures. He's worked his whole life. He's built buildings across this here United States, in Puerto Rico, Korea, places that you may have walked into, courthouses you may have been into. He built the health department in our own town that we live in, and he can't get no assistance. I'm not begging. I'm fundraising, and I'm asking for assistance with my husband in mind, because we are one, and God is not out of the picture at all. Every thought that I receive from the Father, I move on. I pray 24 hours a day. You have never known a battle with something called encephalopathy unless you lived it. You do not know what it's like to try to balance out by yourself the science of a protein and sodium levels so that somebody's not going into a coma. You have no idea what my life is like, and I'm not complaining. I'm grateful for every day that he's here. And every day isn't terrible. We laugh, we talk, we reminisce, and I am loving my husband every moment that he's here. I prayed for you yesterday when I went to church. I prayed that you would be enlightened. I prayed that for whatever reasons you felt necessary to beat up on me, that they go away. And if not, oh well, I'm still going to forge ahead and do what I need to do for my husband. And I will continue to ask, not beg, I will ask. $1 at a time, a penny at a time. And if somebody can't give, well, I thank them anyway. God bless them. Share the message. I have so much medication to dispense every day. I'm not even going to pick up all the bottles because it's unnecessary, but I'm going to let you know that as a caregiver, this is a living hell. I'm not asking anybody for help right now. God made sure in December that I had my feet on solid ground because only He knew what was coming. And so I'm going to tell you, who sent me that message right now, that you need to go wash your face. I haven't even showered or put makeup on today. But I'm going to do that. But I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. And while you're at it, wipe your mouth again because you still got some bullshit in the corners. I love my husband with every fiber of my being. I believe he's my soulmate, and I'm not letting go. And every moment that he's still breathing and he is in my house under my care and not in a hospital is a blessing. That day will come. We were at Mayo Clinic for 3 weeks. They checked everything from his brain to his anus, and every organ was scanned, every blood test was made. I was told to bring him back home. He has to die some more. In order for him to get on the UNOS list, his MELD score's got to be higher. But in the midst of it, there was a miracle, because my husband was a 26, ready for transplant in January. And I brought him home, and I have every night since January been on the computer while he sleeps from 6 to sometimes 10 hours in the middle of the night while the rest of the world is sleeping, studying on doctors' websites. I applaud myself and give myself a pat on the back, because when we were at Mayo Clinic, the transplant doctor read Carl's list of medications and what I give him. They needed to know everything to the T. And he said to me, "What do you know about branched chain amino acids?" And I said, "The same thing you do. Because I was on your website reading your writings for other doctors. And I read, and I read, and I read until I could understand what they were talking about. And I broke it down, and I searched, and my husband is alive to this day because of that. He told me, you can save your money and let him fail so we can do our job. My husband told me he's not ready to completely fail yet. So I will keep doing what I'm doing. And as I am, we had another blessing this week because we were at the doctor's on Friday. His white blood count rose from 3 to 7. His liver enzyme got lower. His ammonia levels lowered. And some tests didn't change. But that was a miracle in itself. And I thank God, and I'm grateful, because I'm doing something right. Another thing that happened, another miracle, is Karen Marie O'Donnell, who's on my Facebook page, and she's a physician's assistant, gave my name to a man who deals with the medication Sovaldi. And he said he was going to get Carl on that medication and emailed the necessary paperwork to fill out, because that's what he does. He gets people on medications that are unaffordable. So I applaud you for that, Karen Marie. Thank you. He did call. He faxed the paperwork. But I got a phone call from a man last weekend, and my sister Maxie's aware of this one too. He's going to pay for Carl to be on that medication, full price. Because somebody shared, and somebody shared, and somebody shared, and somebody shared. And that man found me, and my husband, that out of reach 100,809 step medication he will be able to take, regardless of Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And he helped another man out in Inglewood, not far from us. So there are blessings that come out of asking. My Father is aware of everything I'm doing all day long and how I'm doing it, and he's leading my feet, and I'm following. And I'm asking, and I'm asking, and I'm following, and I'm praying, and I'm asking. But, I'm not going to let you stay in my mind all day long, because I'm not going to let you rob me of the power that I have, because then no healing can take place. So I'm going to let you know right now that I'm on to you. And I'm going to show myself all over Facebook. And I'm going to share my blessings, and it hasn't even begun. I'm working to save a life. I'm also going to be battling Social Security and the Veterans Administration, and I'm going to Congress. Because how do you tell a man who's got 1 to 2 years to live that his Medicare is not going to kick in for 2 years? This ain't a backache. This ain't a backache. And last but not least, I'd like to thank all of you who donated to Carl's Fund. I'm going to ask you to keep sharing the post, because maybe somebody can't give on the day they see it. Maybe they will in the end. I also want you to inbox me your names and addresses, that I send you a proper thank you. And I will say this. Some of you who are going to see this have a chronic hepatitis C, and you don't know it right now. And you may not know it until you're an end-stage liver disease and your liver is completely failing. And I will promise you, because of the government and the pharmaceutical companies, you are going to need help. So don't judge me, because I may be that person that's reaching out to help you. And last but not least, I had another miracle, which I shared with nobody except my sister. Prior to leaving to the Mayo Clinic for Carl's liver evaluation, I was asked, it was suggested by the physicians that I take a test for chronic hepatitis C. And I thought to myself, oh Lord, I've been through enough. And I still got some of my own issues, which do not precede his. But how we both gonna afford to treat for chronic hepatitis C? So I went and took the test. They did a whole liver and blood workup profile on me. And it came back that I tested positive for hepatitis A and chronic hepatitis C. I believe that oysters was the event that got us to where we're at today, because our last real fun evening was the night that Carl took me to the B.B. King concert. On the way home, we stopped and we had oysters. Somehow, oysters are sushi. My body fought off the hepatitis A. So I have hepatitis A antibodies. I am not a contagious to anyone. No one can catch it from me, not even through blood or saliva. I am protected against it. Can't never get it. I also tested positive for chronic hepatitis C. When they tried to genotype me, and they did another test called a Q80K to see if I could withstand the medication, I came back, no virus. Antibodies. Once again, a miracle. Somehow my body, my God-given body, fought off the virus. I'm not contagious to anybody, and my husband cannot give me hepatitis C, but you need to know that hepatitis C is highly contagious, and they're finding whole families with it. So everybody needs to go get tested for hepatitis C. You're scared of HIV. HIV ain't got nothing on hepatitis C. So the person who sent me that message, you violated some other people also, because you took a post that I put up with Tylea's name on it, and I don't know what you did in the computer, but it got to 45 people that I don't even know, and some of them Viola Martini's friends, who are like, question marks, what? What? If you don't like what I post on my wall, scroll on past it. And keep your judgments to yourself, because God got a hand in this. I do not walk alone. I'm a survivor, a real survivor. Once again, God says we have not because we ask not. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of asking, so don't let it upset you, frenemy. You have a blessed day.